The pursuit of truth in the ongoing scandal involving one family's tragedy and corruption at high levels of state government earned this program a Peabody.
I knew that it was going to fall off sooner or later and someone was going to get hurt.
Yet, according to Larry Petoskey, a truck driver for 30 years, the driver didn't respond to repeated warnings over a 10-mile stretch. The loose steel piece broke off about 100 feet ahead of the Willis's minivan. And Reverend Willis says he had no choice but to drive over it.
There was no way at that time I could move out of the way then. The next thing I knew that there was this sound. It wasn't real loud, but it was just a boom, a thump. And the car went sideways. And we realized later that the gas tank had exploded into the car, right to where the children in the back were. They would have had the impact of the explosion.
When they tracked down the truck driver, this man, Ricardo Guzman, a resident alien from Mexico, he claimed his CB radio wasn't working, and he never realized the piece was coming loose.
If this gentleman couldn't see that, he had to be blind or a very unqualified driver.
In fact, several questions have now been raised about how qualified Guzman was to drive a big truck. Police in Wisconsin made special note of the fact that Guzman was not fluent in English and needed a translator, even though federal law requires truck drivers to read and speak English sufficiently to respond to official inquiries.
They couldn't speak English. They were all brought in groups. They were run right through the process.
And behind it all, according to a lawsuit Bruner's group has now filed against George Ryan, were hundreds of thousands of dollars in contributions to Ryan campaigns from truck companies and truck driving schools.
And here to accept the Peabody for ABC News 2020 is the program's investigative correspondent, chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
Thank you very much. This is a great honor, and it comes on the day of the first criminal trial as it opens this morning in a federal courtroom in Chicago. This is the team that worked with me on the story: Dave Rummel, Bob Keating, Simon Surowitz, and Gail Gervais. We benefited greatly from the leadership and the support of Victor Neufeld, David Tabikoff, and the guidance, as always, of Betsy Shore and John Zucker. It was our real great fortune to meet Janet and Scott Willis, a couple who lost all 5 children in a fiery accident. They wanted to know why, and they kept asking why, even as the questions reached the office of the governor. And it was our great honor to try to tell their story, in some ways try to answer their questions. Thank you very much.